Zero debt in 90 days, and it works for all credit card debt, medical bills, even collection lawsuits.
When I first joined, I was being sued, so I used the program methods, and after filing one piece of paper, the collection lawsuit was dismissed.
With zero debt in 90 days, your success is guaranteed in writing. There is no other program of its kind. Don't be alone when creditors gang up on you. Let our team of experts provide the resources to fight back and stop creditors in only 90 days, guaranteed. Prevent wage garnishments, bank levies, and stop collection calls with our proven program. Call Zero Debt in 90 days now, 800-477-9256, and ask for free information from an expert who also completed our program. 800-477-9256 or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. 800-477-9256 or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Going solar for cheap is as easy as 1, 2, 3. If you want to go solar but thought the setup costs were too high, now you can build your own solar panels for less than $200. Don't laugh. We've sold over 45,000 solar do-it-yourself kits. Watch our introduction video at 123cheapsolarvideo.com. The video is free, but it won't last long. Save money on electric bills and get off the grid. Go to 123cheapsolarvideo.com right now. Our website again is 123cheapsolarvideo.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
We're going a little bit into overdrive today with Dr. Andrew Wakefield. The book, of course, is Callous Disregard. It's available on the online video bookstore at Infowars.com and better bookstores everywhere. And what are some of the websites we should tell folks to visit? Because written here on my deal, it says callous-disregard.com. Is that the best place to go?
That's one place where the book is for sale, and there's sort of some backstory. VaccineSafetyFirst.com has just gone up, where journalists can go and get brief soundbite information plus links to the various papers that we're talking about. So that's a good place to go. The National Vaccine Information Center website.
VaccineSafetyFirst.com, and then they can go there, and when they see Good Morning America saying there's no other studies and that he's a lie, you can see all the big studies and all the concern and all the news about it at VaccineSafetyFirst.com.
Correct.
All right, we've got about 4 minutes left here, then 5 minutes the next segment. You've got the floor for other key points you want to cover, Doctor.
Well, I think one of the key things, Alex, is why do they have to go after me in the first place? Why do they have to try and stop the vaccine safety research that was taking place at the Royal Free Hospital in London? And what I discovered from a whistleblower, a senior government health official in 1997, is that when England introduced the MMR vaccine at the end of the 1980s, they introduced a vaccine which was knowingly unsafe. In the same month that it was licensed in the UK, it was withdrawn in Canada for safety reasons. It was causing meningitis. And he was brought across from Canada to advise the UK government on whether they should introduce this vaccine or not. He said no. They went ahead and introduced it. It was cheaper. It was made by SmithKline Beecham, the local company. Were those the reasons? I don't know. But he advised them not to introduce it, and they did. And what happened was that 4 years later, it had to be withdrawn overnight because just as in England, just as in Canada, just as in Japan and Australia, it was causing meningitis. Children were damaged. And children were damaged at 100 times the rate that was predicted by their surveillance methods, which were inadequate. Now, why was that vaccine ever allowed onto the market? What did happen, and this will ring bells with you, is it changed its name. That's the only thing that changed from Canada to the UK. It went from Trivarix to Pluzarix. So why would you change the name of a product? Same vaccine, different name. It had to be withdrawn because it was causing damage. And he told me he knew that many, many children were injured by that vaccine. Will they ever be compensated? No. Will they ever be acknowledged? No. How did it come about? Because the vaccine manufacturer themselves expressed concern, according to him, about introducing the vaccine. They didn't want to do it because they were having problems in Canada. They had a liability. So the government gave them an indemnity. That's what it appears. The government gave them an indemnity, underwrote their liability.
Well, we have that here with the Vaccine Damage Fund in the U.S.
But there was no, as far as I can gather, there was no ministerial approval for this in the UK.
What about the 2000 meeting that ABC News even covered in 2002, where you have the CDC meeting and the head of it's going, I'd never give a vaccine to my granddaughter. Well, this has damaged millions. We got to cover this up. I mean, those minutes got released by, who's the congressman whose grandson got autism? And then he basically stormed the CDC and got the documents?
Dan Burton.
Yeah, Burton. I mean, that's smoking gun right there.
Yeah, that was an extraordinary situation where they took data which showed there was a clear increased risk, and they cut those data down, they changed them after the fact to produce no risk at all. Now, if I had done that, if I had designed a study, got a result I didn't want, and then after the fact had chopped it and changed it and moved it around until I got no effect or got an effect, then I would be vilified, just as I've been vilified now. But because a government agency does it, then it's perfectly acceptable.
Well, your study's been replicated in spades. That's why they're coming after you.
That's correct. The bowel disease that we discovered originally has been confirmed by other people. Is there a link between the vaccine and the disease? That work is going on. It needs to be done. It's not going to stop. And the kind of study like the vaccinated, unvaccinated study, those are the sorts of things that need to be done to establish whether or not there is a causal association.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I've got children. I know there's science in vaccine technology, and I would like to have vaccines that I could trust. But, I mean, the fact they have liability protection in this stream of carnage, you can't trust them. We'll be back in 60 seconds, fourth hour straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones.
On air, online, and on demand. We are the GCN Radio Network.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Dr. Andrew Wakefield is our guest. We're almost out of time. 5 more minutes left with him, then we're going into retransmission. Trying to quantify what these autoimmune responses are and all these countless other studies in other parts of the body, the pancreas, the liver, the brain. But we were trying to, during the break, to talk about what is this connection to the stomach, this highly volatile area of the autoimmune system, obviously the front line, and tying into the brain. And I think you quantified it excellent. Break that down.
Well, the brain, the intestine is really the first point of exposure to many, many toxins, bacteria, alcohol, any number of toxins. It's got to be working properly. It's also the biggest immune organ in the body. It's also got more neurons, more nerve cells in it than the brain. So it's a crucial interface between us and the environment. Now, people say, I don't understand this gut-brain link. Tell me how it works. Well, alcohol is a very good example. Alcohol is a neurotoxin. It poisons the brain. We take it through the gut. It has to get through the intestine, through the bloodstream, to the brain. So there's a very good example of how a gut-brain neurotoxicity can operate. And people then start to understand how that might take place, how that might be working. There is nothing conceptually difficult about what we're talking about. Does it happen in other diseases? Yes. Patients with celiac disease and allergic sensitivity to wheat, they have a number of neurological problems, including dementia and seizures. But it all starts in the intestine. So that is a very, very fruitful area, not only to approach the mechanism of this disease, but also help treat children to get them better. So that has been my approach and will continue to be my approach to this.
So something toxic is being triggered in the gut, and it's causes neurologically. Do we know what's going on in the brain? I mean, they can deny it's a vaccine, but what's happening to their brains?
We still don't know. We still don't know. We know that function is being altered. We know that growth of the brain and development of the brain are being altered. How is that happening? We don't know. And there are many people who've got some very, very good ideas about things called excitotoxins causing inflammation and damage to the brain. But at this stage, we're still looking.
Yeah, that's what Blaylock goes over and all the other doctors he sources on this this inflammation. And wow, well, we've got about 2 minutes left. Any other tidbits that are important for parents and people out there?
Well, my final message is really to parents, and that is read. Please go and read. There are two sides to this debate. Read both sides of the debate. Go to the CDC's website. Go to the National Vaccine Information Center and other people's websites. Get the information. Find yourself a sympathetic doctor and talk them through your concerns about the vaccines. Ask to see the product inserts. Read the product inserts to see if there is, for example, the mercury preservative thimerosal in there.
Because they lied for years and said that they'd taken it out.
Well, they advised that it was taken out. There was no order saying, this is a neurotoxin, it should not be in there, take it out. But at the same time that they took it out, or advised that it should be taken out, they put it back in the influenza vaccine. So
at 4 times what it had been.
That's right. So pregnant mothers and young children getting the influenza vaccine containing mercury. So you're taking it out on the one hand and putting it back in the other. That makes no sense.
And then they say, well, you get the same amount in a sandwich, a tuna sandwich, but talking to endocrinologists, people that toxicologists, they explain this is injected directly into the blood, not going through the stomach that's designed to filter some of that out. And it's not like mercury in fish that's biologically bound, is the way it's explained to me. So it's much different, especially when it's connected to the pathogen, which then supercharges it.
Yeah, I think that's right. If people are saying that, and they are saying that it's no worse than having a tuna sandwich, that is grossly misleading. And that's only either being said through ignorance about mercury metabolism, or it's deliberately deceptive. And that's most unfortunate. So my final message is for the authorities, because what you are doing is compromising public confidence in vaccine safety policy across the board. And unless you address parental issues, unless you address their concerns, and it's 89% of American parents that we're talking about, then you are going to attrite vaccine uptake across the board, and there are going to be problems. And at the end of the day, it will be you, that is the authorities, who are responsible for it.
Dr. Wakefield, powerful interview. Look forward to having you back soon. Hopefully you can get Jenny McCarthy on the show. I've heard she's a listener from some of her friends, but that's yet to be seen. Wow, they're trying to crucify you, but I believe they're failing. They're trying to scare other researchers away from this info. We appreciate your courage, Doctor. Great having you.
Thank you very much.
Great job, crew.
If you own a septic system, or if you're facing costly septic system replacement, this message is for you. When you want to stop paying for pump outs and avoid backups, when you've had enough of the foul odors and costly repairs, use BioSafe One Septic Solution. Now there's an easy-to-use, 100% guaranteed answer to all your septic system problems. BioSafe One Septic Solution. BioSafe One is patented and made specifically for all septic systems, and made by the same team of scientists